There are a million things you can do with £1 million. You could buy a nice house or car, go on vacation, or buy some luxury watches. But what are some of the best ways to invest £1 million? Let's get started and dive into the options. For further details, please refer to our article. Number 1. Eliminate debts. Before thinking about where to invest the money, I strongly recommend paying off any debts you may have, especially credit cards or personal loans. The average interest rate on credit cards in the UK is typically over 20%, which is significantly higher than any after-tax rate of return you can generate consistently over the long term from investing. Therefore, the single best investment you can make is to wipe out credit card debt and other high interest rate debts. Number 2. Build up your emergency fund. We've all heard the advice before, and often it's just too difficult to save up the extra money to put aside in a rainy day fund. Now that you have the million in cash, take the opportunity to put cash aside for your emergency fund. A good target is 3 to 6 months of expenses. Number 3. Buy your house. If you don't own a home, then this would be the perfect place to start deploying your capital. Over the longer term, home equity is a great way to build up stable wealth. If you already own your home, you may want to consider paying down your mortgage. While the return might be slightly better from investing in comparison to paying off your mortgage, being debt-free has its own perks. Number 4. Deposit the cash in a savings account. There's nowhere safer to stash your cash than in a savings account. Of course, the returns are lower, but you will never have to worry about losing your capital. The same cannot be said when you invest your money elsewhere. Number 5. Invest in real estate. People need a place to stay, live, and work. If you can cater to that demand through a rental property, you may be able to generate relatively stable rental income over decades. Letting out a property for rent will require some work on your part, but when done correctly, it can be wonderful. Number 6. Invest in the financial markets. Before investing in the market, it's important to remember this rule. You are more likely to lose your money overnight in the stock market, rather than to make it big overnight. The key to making money in the stock market is to invest systematically and have a good investment process, take risks seriously, and focus on the long term. It is important to be honest with yourself and figure out what your skill level and capabilities are before diving in fully with your money. If you are a beginner, I recommend that you use a wealth manager who has a fiduciary obligation to you. General return guidelines for a 100% equity allocation account would be in the 7 to 9% range over the long term. Number 7. Invest in physical commodities. Physical commodity investing can be tricky. Having a little in these assets, like silver or gold, can help provide some diversification and liquidity over the long run. I do not recommend getting too fancy here though, unless you know what you're doing. Number 8. Start or buy a business. If you have the entrepreneurship bug inside you, and always wanted to have your own business, the 1 million would go a long way towards starting or even buying a business. Just remember to deploy that capital wisely. It's very easy to lose money in a business. One popular option is to buy small businesses, as you can get likely buy into them at 3 to 4x of EBITDA. With your 1 million and a loan from a bank, you could easily buy a business that generates upwards of 650,000 in annual cash flow. You can buy traditional brick-and-mortar businesses, or nowadays you can even buy digital businesses like software companies, websites, or even social media accounts. Finally, to conclude, there are numerous options to invest your money. I recommend being prudent with your investments and playing to your strengths when you invest. As you learn about more asset classes and become comfortable with them, you can gradually expand your circle of competence. Do visit us at projectfinanciallyfree.com to learn more about your investment options and for great advice on matters concerning personal finance, investment, and more. Thanks for watching.